omulungi alaba tuke media n'emboozi yo channel nkwaniriza n'enkubuuzaako n'enkwebaza gyonna gy'okola. Nkuleetedde vidiyo eno nga nkuwa mawulire agali latest ku nteekateeka za gavumenti ya Uganda okusembeza obuweereza obw'endagamuntu okuwandiisa mu mawanga abantu gye bawangaalira ebweru wa Uganda. Ugandan Embassy mu United Arab Emirates y'emu kwabo abatandise exercise ey'okuwandiisa bannayuganda bafune endagamuntu ng'eyongereza ku passport zeebaweera mu ggwanga eryo. Exercise zino ejja ziddukanya kyekimu era ng'ennaku z'omwezi 5 omwezi ogwokutaano lwe lwabadde olunaku lwa Abu Dhabi nga Dubai awedde. Njagadde nkuleetere ku byabaddewo olaba abantu obujjumbize bwabwe bye bayiseemu n'okukola enteekateeka eno yonna, naye ng'abantu abazze wano bazze olw'ensonga ez'enjawulo. Abamu beemulugunya ku passport zaabwe, abamu beemulugunya ku ndagamuntu ze balina, amannya tegaatereera, abamu beebuuza lwaki baddamu okusasula ssente ng'ate ID yali ya bwereere, so ng'okusobya amannya tekyali kiki. Byonna bino byaleese abantu okunnyonnyolwa era okuwera ssaawa nga 2 ng'abantu abasoba mu 2 bamaze okwewandiisa amannya gaabwe ku mpapula, buli eyatuusenga nga yeewandiisa okulaba ng'asobola okwetaba mu exercise eno. Waliwo bannayuganda abanyiikirwa ababadde bakola omulimu guno okukwasaganyizaako ekitebe ekya Uganda babenga olutuuka basoma musomi mannya. Mpozi n'akalala kennalobyeyo akakulu ennyo kwe kubeera nti omuntu yenna ng'oyagala kufuluma Uganda oddeyo eka, Embassy omukulu namuwulidde nga nnyonnyola ayina bwakuyamba mu biwandiiko n'oddayo, so tobeereeyo ng'oyagala okufuluma Uganda ng'ate tosobola olw'ensonga emu oba endala. Njagala ndeete ku maloboozi nga batunnyonnyola engeri ebintu gye bigenda okutambulamu, tube nga tutambulira wamu olabe omukolo gwonna bwe gwatambudde. Wesiisobole kuwa maloboozi bulungi ojja kunsonyiwa naye ebifaananyi byetegereze bulungi olabe kyenjagala okulaga ekiri ku ground. Ekitebe ekikulu kino kiri mu kitundu eky'Ekaldia awali Embassy ya Uganda, ate era abantu abamu abazze batuukidde mu kasana tebasobodde kututeerawo weema kubeera nga bakendeeza ku kasana, naye era abantu banyiikidde bo ne babeerawo okulaba ng'omukisa guno bagweyambisa okwewandiisa. Twasuubiziddwa nti okwewandiisa kuno si kwa leero kwokka, kujja kweyongerayoko mu maaso nga bw'ogenda okuwulira mu maloboozi gaabo abateeseteese oba bakulidde mu kampeyini eno ey'okuwandiisa abantu. Abantu babadde n'ennyonta bavudde mu bitundu ebyenjawulo ebule n'ebweya ng'eggwanga lino bw'olimanyi nti ddene naye entambula nnyangu, baajanguya, so baavudde wala ne bajja okulaba nti beetaba mu exercise eno. Njagala kugatta kwabo abakulidde mu kampeyini eno bongere okulambulula ku ngeri kino kikigenda okukolebwamu n'okukitambuzaamu, tulaba ati oba oliawo tuyinza okufunamu naddala ffe abataabadde Embassy ya Uganda nga ttaano.
Madam Prolet from Nera, carrying the exercise. Okay? We are very glad that today they said they decided to travel there. Can you hear me? Yeah. Tusali sobbala bakuyuganda basakudabi olwa exercise eno leero gye tubaleetedde okuregistaringira ndagamuntu. Tibadde bbanga ddene nga mugisaba, so twasazeewo netugala tubaweeyo olunaku lumu tukole exercise eyo, naye si yenkomeredde nti leero lwemusembayo. If you miss out today, because we can't manage all of you today, if you miss out today, then we shall be back in July. And permanently, the exercise will be here after July. So the movement is assuming there are no missings, don't do it. No. And these cards, after registering, you'll be collecting them from Abu Dhabi after a month from the registration dates. No rate of come by introducing Madam Prolet. Carry on.
Thank you, Sebo. Good morning, Ugandans. I'm sure I'm heard everywhere. So my name is Florence. I'm called, as he has introduced.
ajja kutubuulira.
Okay. I want to thank you for all that you're doing here and welcome you this morning to this great launch of the exercise of National ID registration. Once again, my name is Florence, coming from NIRA. The government of Uganda has heard your cry through the embassy and has extended the service to you. So on behalf of the NIRA management, whom I represent here, I want to deliver greetings from NIRA and assure you of the commitment of NIRA to have you registered as part of the government effort to have your life easier here in the diaspora. So we want to emphasize on some of the major things that you must know before you can either just check yourself whether you're ready for this registration or not. But most importantly, like you've been informed, the service is going to return here in July. This is like an introduction of the service. In July, around mid of July, all the equipment is going to be deployed in here, so that at your convenience, even if you're not able to be registered today, you can always come here home and be registered. So so you shouldn't lose hope in any way. The service is going to be here permanent from July, mid-July. I hope that is hard. So now, let me now take us through the requirements that qualify you for registration. I know there have been some sharing on WhatsApp and everywhere about the requirements that that you needed to deal with. But what we want to emphasize is these requirements are not manufactured by NIRA or manufactured by me who is representing NIRA here or the embassy here. These requirements are dictated by our laws, the laws of our country, the Constitution of Uganda, and the Registration of Persons Act, the act that created NIRA, and it is the one that has the requirements or that dictates on what we must have. So nobody is creating a requirement for making your life hard here, not at all. It's our laws of our land. So the other thing that I want to emphasize is, I know some of us could have registered before we came here for service. Please, if you did register anywhere in our country, you don't qualify to be here. Because once you're in the database, you can no longer enter into the database again. Even if you kept quiet and we registered you here, still the card will never come out because you're already existing. So in that way, you have to link up with home and how to see how best your card can be sent here. However, you can always dial. I know some of us could have come before knowing the status of our registration if we did register. There is a code that we normally use. You can dial it, or you can also visit the NIRA website, nira.go.ug. You can confirm the status of your application. Or you can dial *216# and follow the prompts. It will help you also to confirm the status of your registration. That is for categories that could have registered before coming. Now let's go to those that have never registered. If you've never registered, then the major requirements for this registration, bare minimum, your passport, then a copy of the national ID of at least one parent. Some people will say our passports, we do not have, some people do not have their original passports with them. We shall use their copies. As long as you have the copy, we can use the copies. So I said the passport, then a national ID copy of at least one of your biological parents. Then in case you have a birth certificate, that is also an added good requirement. Now instances where all parents are deceased, in that way, we require you to have someone who can act in form of a guardian, but must be older than you and must be your blood relative. Which means your wife, your husband cannot then stand in for you because you're not related by blood. So even if it's your distant relative, but must be in the lineage of your relationship as far as blood relationship is concerned. Because this is to derive your citizenship. So you cannot, for example, if you're married to a spouse that is, say, maybe a Kenyan. So do you want to be registered as a Uganda and now using the Kenyan spouse's details? No. That's why we say a blood relative is emphasized, and that person should be at least older than you for you to use their ID in instances where both parents are deceased. But if parents are alive, then please endeavor to call home even just right now. In the next 5 minutes you can have the IDs of the parents. Someone will say, my parents are not on WhatsApp. Yes, we know. We may be knowing. Please ask anybody who can easily access the parents and send you that WhatsApp, print it out and have it ready. Then those documents must be printed because we scan them. We don't expect anybody to come with a phone and show us that this is the ID of my parent. We scan those documents, so they should be hard copy, they should be printed. Please don't bring the phone, we can't scan the phone. Bring the documents printed already so that we scan them. So that is what I want to emphasize. Then the other thing that I want to point out is for people, I know because during the time of processing the passport, some people could have either lowered their ages or increased their ages. We also interface with those cases. Now, in ID registration here, you have the opportunity to do what you want, so that in the next passport is going to be dictated by what you have in the ID. So if I lowered my age by say 1 year, then I must be able to now put that 1 year in to match with my maybe academic documents or what, so that in the next renewal, it is dependent on the national ID. So that is something to point out. Then finally, I want to talk about cases of lost IDs. Some of us lost IDs before coming, others lost IDs within when we are already here. Now the procedure for replacing a lost ID, there are only three requirements. The first requirement is you download a form called Form 11. It's at nira.go.ug, the website, it's open, Form 11. Download it, print it out and fill it. Then the second requirement is a police letter. We all know when you lose something, you must report that loss to the police. If you lost that ID from Uganda, you can call any relative. In the next 5 minutes, you can have the letter here. It's as easy as possible to get a police letter in our country. But if you lost it from here, then you should also produce that letter from here, from the police of here. Then the last requirement, I say there are three: Form 11, police letter, and the last requirement is a payment of 50,000 Ugandan shillings. What we want to emphasize is the ID. May I get your attention, please? So may I get your attention? What we want to emphasize is the ID is free of charge. The government of Uganda has taken care of the ID, your one ID. But when you lose it, then you incur the cost of 50,000 shillings to replace it. So if you've lost yours, then you must be able to pay 50,000 Ugandan shillings. You can either send that money home and someone deposits in the bank right now and sends you the receipt. We don't mind using a copy of the receipt. Or else, log in into ura.go.ug, because that money goes to government account. You will not give that money to any of us. We only want a receipt. Log into URA account, make the assessment and make a payment of that money, then come up with a receipt. So those are the issues of lost IDs. Filling of Form 11, police letter and a receipt. Only three requirements that you will be ready to be registered. So ladies and gentlemen, I think that is the basic briefing that we can give you as far as this day is concerned. I may hand over you to the let him take over. No, you will be taken over. Your questions will be received.
No, we want you with the questions.
No, your questions will be received.
But we are sending
so
them
first,
to you.
thank you for listening to me. I hand you now to the embassy for...
Madam.
Okay, please raise your question.
You know Uganda?
You talk.
Bate nchengeza ko kusaba. Tulabanga we mkulaba wale. bambi information nga bwagituwadde simbi franka navugako nenzija okukubuza ebintu basobola otteeka ku whatsapp yabali uganda obawa fenna ne tuba redi kati kigenda kujja kubantu nga bolaba
eno yesitati ya exercise
kitegeera nekyegamba tuli mu sentyalo endala
omwomu
bana tubeerayize just tutuse ensonga kituuke n'abalala abali e uganda madam those people you see in uganda inform them we can have information on phone instead of making you stand under the sun.
Information is on NIRA website.
Okusimu, what's up?
On NIRA website.
Zemaze.
nekyesitegedde bulungi kati weba naregistaringa nibandirawo emyaka nga simituufu ID yange basobola tubadde mukola bunyamba weba emyaka bandikako mijjamu ID yange nga ne pasipoti yange emyaka giriko mirala mba nsobola kukola ntya.
It's a legal process you have to follow.
Someone is asking a question. They already have
guys, waliwo wano ebibuuzo nga ffenna bituyamba naye bwe tuba tetwewuliriza tufiirwa.
somebody is asking a question that they
Listen,
have
there's a question.
ID, but they want to change details. Now, to change details, there are procedures, legal requirements that you must fulfill. One of them is you do what we call a statutory declaration, which is registered with Uganda Registration Service Bureau, and a certified copy of the academic document or a birth certificate to allow that change. So you may not be having those requirements now, but you can always come back and do it. And those are the requirements.
Uye mabegawo. Kati era balina okumanya kuba abamu bagenda bavuddemu. Voice. Volume, boss. Volume.
When I come on the ID, they told me that my ID never
Okay, someone has somebody registered in Uganda, but the ID came up with an error. Now, such categories will not belong here for today. You can always come back. Why you cannot work on it? And we need to verify in the Uganda to confirm what you have already filled. Be able to decide on the next step to take. Now that it's Uganda today, no one
So let's limit on the question.
Okay, sebo. Nze mbuuza. Nyabo nze mbuuza. Bangi kufa abali wano tulina passport kati yes. Twafuna empya n'enkadde. Photocopy kyekola wano kati. New. Nesimu emuli visa. Okay. wanziruseeko ddamu naye wedda njagala ne Michael okuwonya byonna obaddewa totandika kutulaba omwomu maama ojja kusulawo gw'olonza ayogera nnyo ne tuwulira oba kyabuuza kifaanana ekyono n'akireka. End of question, begin of exercise. What's the procedure now? Mama, shall we have some drinking water like we don't have a tent because almost we are collapsing? Oluvannyuma lw'okulangirira nti bagenda kukola ku bantu 6 bokka kwabo bonna abeewandiisizza, abantu bangi baaweddemu amaanyi ne bassaayo okwemulugunya kwabwe era bangi be nayogeddeko nabo nga si basanyufu ngono Sseruganda yavudde ku nsalo ya Saudi Arabia n'eggwanga erya United Arab Emirates najja n'apangisa loogi n'asula wano mu kibuga naye teyasobodde kufuna mukisa ogwo kubanga ebyokwewandiisa ebisaanyizo ebimu tebyabaddewo ate n'ennamba nga bakola ku ntono. Wano omukulu ono ataki ku Embassy eno avunaanyizibwa ku by'okutambula ne ku biwandiiko by'abantu agezaako okwanukula ebibuuzo byabo abalaga obuzibu bwe balina mu passports abamu abalina ebizibu ku ndagamuntu. Waliwo abaaleka beewandiisiza Uganda ne bajja eno naye baagenda okubaweereza ID zaabwe nga zirimu ebirumira. Abakyala bano abalala bo baavuddemu Alaini 3 hours drive okuva mu kibuga Abu Dhabi era nabo baabadde balaga butali bumativu nga basubiddwa olw'ebyo ebyetaagisa mu kwewandiisa bye bazze batamanyi nga bibajjeemu ne kibaleetera okwennyamira okungi. Waliwo n'abalala ababadde baabulwa ebiwandiiko byabwe bandyagadde okutambula bandyagadde okudda e Uganda oba okukyusa n'okutereeza obutuuze bwabwe. Wano mukulu nga abazizza ebbali agezaako okubannyonnyola wabweru wa Embassy naye mukasana pereketya nga keememula weema teyasobose kufunika. Waliwo wano bannaffe abalala abavudde kumpi n'ebibuga Abu Dhabi, waliwo abavudde mu Banias, eyo yonna nga basiyaguse bajje beewandiise naye nga tebafunye mukisa. Kati ono omukyala ye yavudde Alaini ate nga tasobola kubanga buli kaseera afuna omukisa ogujja nga naye alaga bw'atali mumativu mwene ensonga. Waliwo omuganda wange ono naye yabadde mwannyinaze ono nga naye y'omu kwabo abavudde Alaini ate ono Sseruganda ye yabadde avudde kumpi ne Abu Dhabi naye nga agamba yennyamidde nnyo akasana okumukabalira obwereere n'atasobola kwewandiisa. Kale nno byebimpiipi ebyo byensobodde okukugira ku kitebe kya Uganda gye twabadde mu kaweefube w'okufuna omukisa okwewandiisa ndagamuntu nga ekusanze gy'okolera ebweru w'eggwanga. Mukama bampeera omukisa mwongere okugoberera, subscribe, like, comment, byonna biteekeyo tujja kuba tukwanukula tutambulire wamu.